Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Church of Edmonton. My name is Tanya Vandenberg. My pronouns are she, her, and I will be your service leader this morning. I will be joined by our minister, Reverend Rosemary Morrison, and we do hope you feel welcome here. I'm going to start with some announcements. For Maria asked me to make sure that everyone is aware that we have a potluck after church today. And even if you didn't bring food, we got food, so come eat it. All right. Then I guess we'll start with Karen Mills.
Good morning. My name is Karen Mills. My pronouns are she, her. And I have 3 events that I want to invite you to. The first is this Friday. It's the Chalice Cabaret. Yay! The choir will kick things off at 7 p.m. here on Friday. And then we have 3 amazing guest artists that I would love for you to hear. I think they should get some more exposure. And they're all wonderful. So tickets are $20. I will have them in the lobby after the service. The second thing that's happening is the following Sunday, so the 19th, and we're going to build a framework for you to be able to very comfortably and easily answer when somebody says, "What's Unitarian Universalism? What do you believe? Is that some woke thing?"
Yes.
Or that's the Unity Church, right?
Yeah.
So we'll have a light lunch. We'll spend an hour together and come up with answers that fit you and fit the questions that you're being asked. So that should be fun. And then on May 3rd, Chalice is collaborating with the choir from Spiritual Seekers United in Community. You may also know them as Southminster Steinhauer United Church. We will have about 50 singers. We will have about 10 instrumentalists. And we'll be doing a suite by a young American composer named Kyle Peterson called Vision Unfolding. And it is amazing music, all based on social justice and the desire for equity and diversity and love in the world. And I think it's going to be quite moving. So I would really love for you to come and hear that. That's on May 3rd here. If you're not available on May 3rd, although you should be because it's the AGM and the end of the garage sale, we're doing the service again at SSUC on May 10th.
All right. Yep, come on up.
Yep, you're on the list.
Yep.
I'm Susan Rattan, Board Secretary. Just to say what Karen has told you, after the big musical thing on the 3rd of May, there will be our annual meeting. We encourage all members to be there. We'll look at finances and budget. We will hear who's new on the board in the coming year. And we have a couple of big awards we'll be giving out. So if you're a member, please come.
All right, and next we'll have Declan Kiley.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Declan. My pronouns are he and she. Here to tell you about the movie night again. Our theme of the month this month is embracing possibility. So we like to have a monthly movie night that's every last Friday of the month, where we watch a movie and then we have a discussion pertaining to our theme of the month. So for embracing possibility, we will be watching The Testament of Anne Lee, which is a musical about the founding leader of the Shakers. So it should be pretty interesting. And that will be on April 24th. That's the last Friday of this month. And it will be at 6 p.m. right here in the sanctuary for free. Please bring a snack and a beverage for yourself and maybe to share. And we will see you there.
All right, next we will have Andrew Mills.
Fresh, crisp, lively. Vibrant. I
am vibrant. Hi, I'm Andrew Mills, and I'm vibrant. I am here to talk to you about the garage sale. So we currently, over the last couple of months, have been packing boxes like this full of treasures, priced. They're already packed, they're ready to go. We have 120 boxes done already. We need another couple of hundred in order to go to the garage sale. So please bring your stuff in, bring your treasures in. It should fit in boxes like this for now, please, because we're packing and we're pricing and putting them aside. And then on the 25th, on April the 25th, everything breaks loose. On the 25th, we're looking for lots of people to come and help because we're going to take all these boxes, the hundreds of boxes that we have, and we're going to bring them all to the hall and set them all out on the tables. So I need 25, 30 people that day. That's going to be a busy, busy, busy day. 25th, Saturday the 25th, is also when you can bring your larger items, furnitures, larger things that don't fit in boxes. They can all come that day, so we'll be pricing those and putting them out as well. Sorry? So the 25th, we also have the sign-up sheets in the hall for people to help us on sale days and on these setup days. So please, if you can spare a few hours, please sign up for the garage sale. This is a big fundraiser for the year. We'd really appreciate all your help. And try to fit them in boxes, okay? Thank you for now.
Karen Mills has an addendum.
Andrew reminded me of one thing I forgot. We do need some help with the cabaret too. And so there's a sign-up sheet out on the credenza. If you can help with setup, which will be in the afternoon on Friday, cleanup, or if you want to be a bartender or a snack vendor, you don't have to bring the snacks. Those will be provided. It's just serving them to people. Thanks.
Thank you, Tanya. Good morning. Good morning. My name is Reverend Rosemary Morrison. It is my pleasure and honor to serve this congregation, the Unitarian Church of Edmonton. I'm delighted you're here. I'm happy I'm here. I'm glad you're out there in TV land, as they used to say. Yes, so I've got that down too. So there's a potluck, so make sure you stay for that. And if you are going to be joining Reverend Brian Kiley, our Minister Emeritus, after for the deep dive into our UU principles, you're invited to grab a plate and then meet in the boardroom. So that's over there and down the hall on the last door on your right before it goes around. Oh, that's twice. I beg your pardon. Okay, so there's so many cool things happening. We've talked about the movie night and for this month, and there's UU's on tap the last Wednesday of the month, April 29th. And I want to bring your attention, we'll start advertising it next week. So Tony Turner is a UU musician, and he used to live in Ottawa, and he now lives in Nanaimo. And he's going to be doing a cross-Canada tour. So he approached me, and he'll be coming through the weekend of May 9th, 10th. Now, Saturday nights here at UCE are usually pretty darn busy, so we don't have room for him to do the concert here. However, Westwood is going to co-host, and it will be at Westwood in Park Allen neighborhood on May the 9th. And so he'll be doing a concert there. There'll be snacks and refreshments. And then on May 10th, when all the choir and everybody is gone over to SSUC and leaving us all alone, he's going to be here, and he and I will be leading the service on May the 10th. Probably we'll sit around in a circle and sing. Lots and lots of singing. So that'll be fun, and the choir will be so sad to miss. I think that's it from me. All right.
Oh, yeah. Anyone missing keys?
It's a Prius. So we know it's a Unitarian.
I used to be a fire extinguisher tech years ago, and I would go in and get keys from the maintenance folks in order to go around and do all that. And there's one gentleman I went in, and I happened to be in a bad mood that day. But I went in, and I'm like, I need your keys. And he's like, keys? I'm like, yeah, I need your keys so I can go and check the fire extinguishers. He's like, oh, you said keys. He said, I thought you said keys. He said, it's my lucky day. And on that note, as the Unitarian Church of Edmonton is a liberal, religious, multi-generational community. We celebrate a rich mosaic of free-thinking, spiritual questing individuals joined in common support and action. We welcome diversity, pursue the common good, and work for justice. We believe in the compassion of the individual heart, the warmth of community, and the search for meaning in our lives. We gather with gratitude this morning on Treaty 6 land. A treaty is an inheritance, a responsibility, and a relationship. May we be good neighbors to one another, good stewards to our planet, and good ancestors to all our children. And so, as we begin this special hour together, I invite you to quiet your devices and yourselves so that we can all enjoy the service further. May we be reminded here of our highest aspirations and inspired to bring our gifts of love and service to the altar of humanity. May we know once again that we are not isolated beings, but are connected in mystery and miracle to the universe, to this community, and to each other. We begin with a time of contemplation and music with this Prelude by Karen Mills. All right, so now it's time to light our chalice, and we have two chalices today. We have our regular chalice, as well as we have a children's chalice. So I'm going to have Maria Jenkins come and light our regular chalice, and Ambrose is going to light our children's chalice. Come, come, whoever you are welcome here. No matter your age, your size, the color of your eyes, your hair, your skin, you are welcome here. No matter how you came here, if you came alone or with others, you are welcome here. No matter who you love or how you speak or whatever your abilities, you are welcome here. Whether you come with laughter in your heart or tears in your eyes, you are welcome here. If you come here with an open mind, a loving heart, and willing hands, then you are indeed welcome here. And that's by Melanie Morell Ensminger. Okay, so. Oh. We're going to start with our opening hymn, number 188. Come, come, whoever you are, please rise as you are willing and able.
do a round. Come, come, whoever you are. Come, come, whoever you are. Wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving. Ours is no caravan. Come, come, whoever you are. Wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving. Ours is no caravan of deceit.
Oops. It's my first time doing this, so thank you. I'm a little disorganized, I'm sorry. Okay. Our community is entirely self-governing and self-supporting. Right? One of the privileges of our free church tradition is to provide all the financial support for our many ministries from among ourselves. Generosity, therefore, is one of the spiritual values we recognize as central to our personal and institutional well-being. In addition to supporting this church community, we also make a monthly commitment beyond our walls. One half of the unidentified cash that is received is given to an outside organization. Some are local, some national, some international. For the month of April, we are sharing our abundance with Child Haven International. Child Haven is inspired by the ideals and philosophy of Mahatma Gandhi. Child Haven International is a registered not-for-profit charity founded in 1985. They assist children and women in developing countries who are in need of food, education, healthcare, shelter, and clothing, emotional and moral supports. For those in the sanctuary, you can use envelopes found at the back of the sanctuary. If you wish to receive a tax receipt for your gift, please indicate on the envelope your contact information so we can send you a tax receipt at year end. Many of our members and friends give monthly or annually through automatic withdrawal from their accounts. For those of you online, we encourage you to visit the Child Haven International website to make a donation. The offering will now be received. In 1 minute. We thank you for your generosity and your support. With our time, our talents, and our money, we support the work of the community and this Unitarian Universalist tradition. All right, Tracy's, okay.
So I think I chose a whole bunch of songs that nobody knows. And so, to make it fair, I'm going to do it kind of like a cantor would in a synagogue on a Sunday morning. So a cantor is someone that leads the singing in a Jewish service on a Saturday. And there's a ton of singing that happens, often Friday night with prayers and hymns and psalms. And so the cantor leads all of that beautiful singing. And so it's a way of prayer, it's a way of celebration. And it's often, it used to be that a church, a synagogue, would hire a cantor, but now it's more the rabbi kind of does double duty as the cantor. So in that light, I am going to be the minister and the cantor this morning. And we'll stumble our way through. And so the way I was thinking that we would do this is that I'm going to ask Karen to play it through a couple of times, and then I'm going to start singing, and then I'm just going to ask you to join me. And we're just going to keep singing it until you're comfortable with it. And it should be fun. It's supposed to be fun. And this one is one of those Jewish-type songs where you see it starts kind of nice and slow and manageable, and then it speeds up slowly, and then it becomes too fast and unmanageable. I don't think we'll probably get there, but who knows? If I couldn't borrow that and get you, there's another one down there. Thanks. So, if you want to play it through, first of all, I'm sorry, I'll say the words. Havenu, shalom alechem. But you don't have to do the part. I practiced for a long time. Havenu, shalom alechem. You want to say that with me? Havenu, shalom alechem. Okay, now we'll hear the tune. It's probably familiar. And as Karen plays it once more, I invite you to rise in body or in spirit to sing, to begin singing. Shalom, shalom, lechem. Havenu shalom, shalom, shalom alechem. Shalom alechem. Shalom, shalom alechem. Havenu shalom alechem. Shalom, shalom, shalom alechem. Shalom, shalom, shalom alechem, alechem, shalom alechem, Havenu shalom alechem, Havenu shalom alechem, Havenu shalom, shalom, shalom alechem, Havenu shalom alechem, Havenu shalom alechem, Havenu shalom alechem, Havenu shalom, shalom, once more, Havenu shalom alechem, Havenu shalom alechem, Havenu shalom alechem, Havenu shalom, shalom, shalom alechem. Hey! I knew it was going to be great. So we have a reading for you. It's a responsive reading. And I've hid Tanya's words on her. So it's a responsive reading, but we're going to read it. Tanya's going to lead that side, and she'll start, and I'll lead this side. And at the end, it's kind of, there's some spaces, and we're just going to read the last verse all together. Okay, and this is from 632 in our hymnal.
Right. Pack nothing. Bring only your determination to serve and your willingness to be free. Don't wait for the bread to rise. Take nourishment for the journey, but eat standing. Be ready to move at a moment's notice.
Do not hesitate to leave your old ways behind. Fear, silence, submission. Only surrender to the need of the time to love justice and walk humbly with your God.
Begin quickly before you have time to sink back into old slavery. Set out in the dark. I will send fire to warm and encourage you. I will be with you in the fire, and I will be with you in the cloud.
I will give dreams in the desert to guide you safely home to that place you have not yet seen. I am sending you into the wilderness to make a new way and to learn my ways more deeply.
Some of you will be so changed by weathers and wanderings that even your closest friends will have to learn your features as though for the first time. Some of you will not change at all.
Some of you will be abandoned by your dearest loves and misunderstood by those who have known you since birth and feel abandoned by you. Some will find new friendship in unlikely faces and old friends as faithful and true as the pillar of God's flame.
Sing songs as you go and hold close together. You may at times grow confused and lose your way. Touch each other and keep telling the stories. Make maps as you go, remembering the way back from before you were born.
And all together. So you will be only the first of many waves of deliverance on these desert seas. It is the first of many beginnings. Remain true to this mystery. Pass on the whole story. Do not go back. I am with you now, and I am waiting for you. Thank you. I'm going to invite you to stay seated for this next song. It's called Do Not Be Daunted. And the words are from the Talmud. And the tune is written by singer-songwriter Lynn Harrison from ordained and fellowship minister in the Toronto area. And she puts on several times a month kind of coffee houses for the Unitarians or the Unitarian Universalists in the greater Toronto area. And this song was just showed up on the new our new hymn book, the online hymn book, Sing Out Love. And Karen strategically and intelligently and brilliantly played the tune for you during the Prelude. So I'm going to ask her to play it again. And we'll start out pretty slow. And so it's a beautiful tune. And the words are here, and we'll just sing it again. We'll go back and forth between the two verses kind of over and over again until we kind of get a sense of it and find the rhythm of it. Okay? Let's just try that much. Do not be daunted by the enormity of the world's grief. Do not be daunted by the enormity of the world's grief. Do gently now, have mercy now, oh humbly now. Let's sing that again, just that much. Do not be daunted by the enormity of the world's grief. Do not be daunted by the enormity of the world's grief. Justly now, love mercy now, go humbly now. Let's move on to the second verse. You need not complete the work, but you must not abandon it. You not complete the work, but you must not abandon it. Justly now, love mercy now, go humbly now. Let's sing that verse again. Yeah, and I apologize, I'm stumbling a little bit because the way Lynn does it is just slightly different than what's written, and we're just going to go with what's written, and I'll just keep stumbling till I get it. You not the word, but you must not abandon. That's what I thought. Okay. You must not complete do that verse once more so we can get the timing. You need not complete the work, but you need not abandon it. You need not complete the work, but you must not abandon it. Do justly now, have mercy now. Go home, back to the beginning. Do not be daunted by the enormity of the world's grief. Do not be daunted by the enormity of the world's grief. Do justice now, love humbly now, walk humbly now. Second verse. You need not complete the work, but you must not abandon it. You need not complete the work, but you must not abandon it. Justly now, all mercy now, all humbly now. First verse. Do not be daunted by the enormity of the world's grief. Do not be daunted by the enormity of the world's grief. Do justly now, love mercy now. And the first verse once more to finish it up. Do not be daunted by the enormity of the world's grief. Do not be daunted by the enormity of the world's grief. Oh, justly now, love mercy now, walk humbly now. It's a beautiful song, isn't it? Brings up a lot for me. The world is in grief. And it's interesting that we're talking about Judaism at this time when there is so much turmoil in the Middle East. I'm not going to be talking about that during the message part of the message part today, but let's keep that in our hearts and minds, that there is a lot going on in Palestine, in Israel, Lebanon. I was on a call the other day with the CUC's new communication person. She was born in Lebanon and has family there. And it's a very trying and terrifying time for them in that region. I invite you into a time of meditation, contemplation. Go ahead and plant your feet on the floor if you'd like to. Take a couple of deep breaths. Wiggle it out. Find those tense and sore spots in your body to breathe into, as your yoga instructor would tell you. And notice. I invite you to allow the chair to hold you. Let your muscles go. You are safe. Gravity and your chair is hanging on to you. And you are surrounded here in this space with love, with caring. Let's take a few moments of silence, after which we're going to sing together hymn number 1037, and your part is the refrain. So I'll explain it and then we'll have some silence and then we'll go through it. So there's the narrator speaks some words, and then you say, we forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love. And before we start, Karen will play that through once for you. It's quite familiar. I invite you to follow your breath as it enters your body, giving you that life-giving oxygen. And then we let it go, releasing that which no longer serves us. A great metaphor for our lives. Let us enter into a moment of silence. Karen, if you could play through the refrain, and then I will begin the narration. For remaining silent when a single voice would have made a difference. For each time that our fears have made us rigid and inaccessible. For each time we have struck out in anger without just cause. For each time that our greed has blinded us to the needs of others. For the selfishness that sets us apart and alone. For falling short of the admonitions of the Spirit. For losing sight of our unity. And the last stanza. For those and for so many acts, both evident and subtle, which have faded the illusions, which have fueled the illusion of separateness. Well, I tried to find a klezmer band to come and play this morning. That was hard, but I found a video. So we'll watch a video called The Revival of Klezmer Music. So I invite you to enjoy that for a moment. There's so much, just even in the music, all the different countries and the evolution, and there's just too much to talk about. And so, did I miss something? Candles. I missed candles again, didn't I? I missed candles again. Did I miss candles again? I did. So let's do some candles. I beg your pardon. I'm sorry. Okay. I need to put that in bigger and bolder and highlighted when it's time to do the candles. If we could have the lights back off, and I apologize. I did that last week too, or the week before. Until I say it, right? Kelly said, we never noticed, and then it's like, until I say it, it's kind of like, making a mistake in music and then stopping to say, oh, I made a mistake. It's like, if you would have just kept going. Let's just take a moment and get back that mood that we had during the meditation of feeling our body, being present, and recognizing that as community, we come together to share our lives. And one way that we can express that is with candles of joy and concern. The tables are ready, the candles are ready, and you are invited to light candles of joy and concern at this time. light one last candle for all those joys and concerns that we hold in our hearts, that sometimes we don't even know are there. And we need to wait to see what will transpire. Oh, our chalice is unhappy. That's okay. It is not an omen. No. As I said when I tried to start this message last time, there's just so much to talk about. I've actually got 32 pages, of which I'm not going to, and most of it, I'm just, a lot of it is just bullet points and things. So I really honestly did not know where to begin. So I was telling Karen Mills before the service, I did a full year of Hebrew Bible, and by the end of it I got angry with people that called it the Old Testament. Not angry, but it's like, it's the Hebrew Bible, and then there's the New Testament, and we need to, but I've gotten over it. So the Star of David is there in the back, and it is the symbol of Judaism. And it is one of the world's oldest religions, and it's nearly 4,000 years old. And it's considered to be the original Abrahamic faith, which includes Islam and Christianity. And I put the tree of life, a symbol of the tree of life, up because we see that a lot in Judaism, that tree of life being a symbol, and life being l'chaim, and tree Eretz, I believe I'm saying that right. Eretz l'chaim is something that is said quite regularly. The tree of life brings us so much life. So like Unitarians, Judaism is a monotheistic faith. They do not prescribe to the Trinity. Most Jewish sects do not believe in the Messiah, that the Messiah has come and that we are still waiting for the Messiah. However, there are some denominations, let's say, just like Christianity, there is all kinds of different denominations in the Jewish sect, in the Jewish tradition. So, yeah. So there are Messianic Jews, just as there are Messianic Islam folk as well. And so it's kind of interesting. I went to a synagogue once in Vancouver when I was in seminary, where they did believe that Jesus had come and was the Messiah. Also, there is a Messianic Islam mosque in Vancouver, in Richmond actually. And I found that very fascinating, visiting those. And so the religion of Judaism believes that one God was revealed through the ancient prophets, including Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Moses, Solomon, and others. And so there are a number of sacred texts in the Jewish tradition. The most important, of course, is the Torah, or Torah, as some people say, and many Jews believe that the Ten Commandments were the holy laws that God handed down to Moses on Mount Sinai at the burning bush, and we're all very familiar with that story. One of the things that I found fascinating about the Pentateuch, or the first books of the Bible, the Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy, that's the Torah, or the Pentateuch, and the Deuteronomists, those were the writers, they wrote those books 400 years, apparently, after what they were writing about. So imagine today, these stories were carried on through the centuries from when they happened, and then, or so they say, and then were written down. Imagine trying to do that about something that happened 400 years ago. So we know that, and there's 3 creation stories in Genesis, right? So we know that these are stories written down from oral tradition. Leviticus is the book of the rules for the priests. Jewish people gather, we gather in what Christians, not necessarily Unitarians, but Christians of all denominations, Catholic and Protestant, meet in churches. Jewish folk meet in synagogues. And on Saturday we meet on Sunday. A little bit of discrepancy between which day is the seventh day in which we should rest. There are about 14 million Jews living worldwide. That was the census in 2020, and more recent data suggests that the population has grown to 15.8 million. Most Jewish folk live in the United States and Israel. And if you are Jewish, it's because your mother was Jewish. So it's a matrilineal line. So if your mother was Jewish, you are Jewish. Now, we all know that Jewish folk and the religion of Judaism and Jews themselves have been persecuted through the years. And I could talk for a long, long time about that. But I'm not going to. And I also want to make mention of the fact that there's an awful lot going on in the Middle East with Israel, and that I think that we need to make a distinction between the country and the politics of Israel and the faith of Judaism. And so, I appreciate myself. I sometimes go to prayers on a Friday night, or because it's so beautiful. But that isn't a reflection about what's going on in the Middle East at this moment. And what is going on, as I've mentioned, is appalling and scary. And we'll hold all of that in love. So just like Unitarians, Jews believe that there is only one God. And what are we? We're non-creedal, we're covenantal. So are Jewish folk. They believe that a covenant has been struck between themselves and with God. And God communicates through prophets and into the people. So Jewish people, again, they worship in synagogues, and their leaders are called rabbis. Here we worship in community buildings, centers, churches, and our spiritual leaders are called ministers. So according to the Torah, God revealed himself, God's self, or themself, or however you want to say it. But in talking about Judaism, it is impossible not to say the word God. So, because that God is front and foremost in the Jewish life. So God revealed God's self to Abraham, a Hebrew man, and he became the founder of Judaism. And I don't know how familiar you are with some of the Hebrew texts, but it was go into the land and multiply like the sands in the desert. And so most Jews believe that there was a special covenant that happened between Abraham and the people, between Abraham and God, and that Abraham's descendants from Sarah were the descendants would create a great nation. So Abraham's son Isaac and grandson Jacob also became central figures in ancient Jewish history. Jacob took the name Israel, and his children and future generations became known as Israelites. So that's where that name came from. So after about 1,000 years after Abraham, God heard the cries of the Egyptians enslaved and called upon Moses to rescue them, and received the Ten Commandments on Mount Sinai. So as I mentioned before, the Torah, or the first 5 books of the Tanakh, outlines the laws for Jews to follow and explains the origins of the Jewish faith. So there was a lot of different Jewish manuscripts developed over the time. So there was the Hebrew Bible, and I don't know if you know very much about the Hebrew Bible, but I find it fascinating. That's me being a seminary church nerd. I love studying the different religions. And so to me, after studying some of it, it became quite clear to me that it's an anthology. And that many of the books there are books of in the Hebrew Bible are books of poetry. For example, Lamentations is an acrostic poem. So the first verse of Lamentations starts with the letter A, or Aleph. And the next verse starts with the letter B. And I can't remember how to say it. So, and so on. But it's like got 26 verses, and each one starts with the next letter of the Jewish alphabet. The book of Joshua, I believe, is called a chiasm. So you start from the outside and read in, and you can do that both ways. So it's kind of like an interesting way of writing. Then there's the wisdom literature inside the Old Testament or Hebrew Bible, and it has zero allegory in it, and it is so beautiful. And it is a really interesting example of the ancient Near East writing. And one of the things that I did, or loved to do, I should say, was compare the Proverbs and some of the other wisdom literature to other examples of writing in the ancient Near East. Proverbs speaks about an Egyptian goddess, Ma'at, in some of the writings in Proverbs. And so at that time, the Babylonians were writing, the Egyptians were writing, the Israelites were writing, the Assyrians were writing, and all of those writings were very, very similar. So it's the Hebrew Bible is basically a collection of some of those writings. I invite you to read some of wisdom literature. It doesn't, those are like Song of Solomon, Proverbs, some of the Psalms. They don't talk about God. There is no allegory, and it's just pure, beautiful poetry. I'm looking at the time. And I just kind of want to talk a little bit about what of the different kinds of Judaism. So the most strict type of Judaism is Orthodox. And Orthodox Jews are typically known for strict observance of traditional Jewish law. Remember, that law comes out of Leviticus. All of the laws of Judaism come out of Leviticus. For example, the Shabbat should not involve working, driving, handling money, turning on electricity, that kind of thing. So Orthodox people that are Orthodox Jews, they prepare their meals ahead of time. They clean their house ahead of time, and they live within walking distance of the shul so that they can walk to the synagogue. So it includes Hasidic Jews, and there's a lot of Hasidic Jews in New York. The Reform Judaism is more of a liberal sect of values the ethical traditions and strict observances, but a little bit more progressive ideas and adaptations. Most of the Jewish folk living in North America follow Reform Judaic traditions. And then there's conservative Judaism, which I thought was more orthodox, but it's less orthodox than Reform and not as liberal as Reconstructionist. And there will not be a test. So there's Orthodox, then the next less strict is Reform, then conservative Reconstructionist Judaism, and that dates back to 1922 when Mordecai Kaplan founded the Society for the Advancement of Judaism. And then, even more liberal, is humanistic Judaism. So the cultural parts of Judaism is celebrated, but not so much the rules, and a little less emphasis on God and the rules. Shabbat is incredibly important, as we know, with because we're singing Shabbat Shalom, you know, those words. And on Saturdays, people go to the synagogue or the shul and gather together and sing. There's an awful lot of singing in a Jewish service. I used to go to Or Shalom in Vancouver, and it was just absolutely wonderful. So much singing. So Shabbat is recognized as a day of rest and prayer for Jewish folk, and it usually starts at sunset on a Friday night and lasts until nightfall on Saturday. And I think they've got a good thing going there. It's time to rest, and that's something that I think our society really struggles with. I mean, just set everything aside and rest. The to-do list needs to go away. We need to gather together. We need to love one another. We need to worship, or whatever you want to call it, and sing together. And it is just a lovely, lovely way of creating a flow to our week. So what often after a service on a Saturday morning, people get together and have a bite to eat and then have a discussion, a tish, as they say, and just sit down and discuss the Torah or socialize with one another. I have talked a bit about the persecution, and a big part of Judaism is the destruction of their temples. And that has been a very difficult thing for the Jewish people, and that's when they were in exile in Babylon, and that's when all of those sad, lamenting songs, by the rivers of Babylon we wept. And so many of the heart-wrenching writings of the Psalms and Lamentations were written when the Jewish folk were in exile in Babylon. One of the things about Judaism that I absolutely love is the Kabbalah, or Kabbalah, however you want to say it, and it basically means reception. So Rabbi Dr. Laura Duhan Kaplan, who was a friend and a professor, my professor, and she says often you'll go into a place and the word Kabbalah will be above the desk as you walk in, because it literally means reception. So to receive wisdom, to receive Jewish practice, and that's built on the teachings handed down. What strikes me is how much it looks like the chakras and the different pieces of it. And the top is often depicted with a crown, the top of our head, and it is literally the different parts of the human being. And it is the mystic part of Judaism. And that really I really relate to that, because, you know, and I think about that as in conjunction with our first source, that direct experience with the divine. Every single religion or denomination, not denomination, but religion has that spiritual direct experience of the divine. Judaism, it's the Zohar and the Kabbalah. In Islam, it is the Sufi part of the religion. And so I encourage you to read a little bit more about what the Kabbalah means. And it is the whole idea that we are a reflection to one another and back to God and God to us. So it's that divinity flowing between us and each other and whatever is out there. So that's the Kabbalah, and I am going to just read this last bit, that we are a reflection of God. Through understanding the human being, particularly the 10 elements of the human intellect, we can get an inkling of the 10 elements of the divine. So basically, to study the Zohar or move into this area, the rule is, the rule used to be that you had to be 50 years old, married, very, very learned and educated, and have a very deep understanding of the Torah before you were allowed to move into the Zohar, which is the book of this infinite light, and the Kabbalah, which is the symbol of it, because it is the path into God. And in the mysticism world, the path to God is the path to ourselves. So I've talked a lot about that at different times, where if we want to know the infinite, the mysterious, the spirit, whatever it is, that path towards that is the path into ourselves. And that's the same with Christianity, with humanism, with Islam, Hinduism. Get to know God, or the infinite, or the mysterious, or the deep spirit. Get to know yourselves. And the leaders of the church at that time, or the synagogues, or the Jewish people said, this path is so dangerous that you must be grounded and settled in your life before you are allowed to venture down that road. And I think that is a piece of the learning from the Kabbalah that we can grab onto and go, oh, this isn't easy stuff, getting to know ourselves and getting to understand our connection with each other and the infinite, whatever it is. And it's written right there saying this is a dangerous path because it's painful. And we have to be honest with ourselves. So I'm going to leave it there, and so that we can eat some food. And we'll move on into our final hymn, Shalom Havriim, and it means peace, friends. And we'll do it very similarly as we did the first two songs, the last two songs, where Karen will play it through a couple of times, and you can remain seated. And as you're comfortable, just join in. Shalom Havrim, Shalom Havrim, Shalom, Shalom, Lahitreot, Lahitreot, Shalom, Shalom. Couple more times. Shalom Havrim, Shalom Havrim, Shalom, Shalom, Lahitreot, Lahitreot, Shalom. Once more. Shalom Havrim, Shalom Havrim, Shalom, Shalom, Lahitreot, Lahitreot, Shalom, Shalom.
All right, I'm going to call up Maria to extinguish our flame. Do not be daunted by the enormity of the world's grief. Do justly now. Love mercy now. Walk humbly now. You are not obligated to complete the work, but neither are you free to abandon it.
It's got a pretty tune. It doesn't want to go off. That's okay. Oh, that's okay. So thank you, Ambrose and Talia, for going out with the children. It's lovely to have some young people with us this morning. Thank you. And we'll just keep it growing. Keep it growing. I'd like to give a shout out to everyone that participated in the service, whether you are a singer or a reader or or a attender, or a candle lighter, or a tech person, or a slide person, or a musician, thank you. Thank you, Tanya. Her first time doing the service leading. Did a great job. So don't forget, there's a potluck, and grab a plate if you would like to join Reverend Brian, Kylie in the boardroom for a deep dive into our UU principles. Apparently it's still going really great and people are loving it. So it's not a closed group. You may join if you haven't been to the other ones as well. And now I offer you these words of benediction to hold you and keep you until we can be together again and be together with our energies and our love and our spirit and open ourselves up to one another. And that's how we grow. Do not be dismayed by the brokenness of the world. Things can break and things can be mended, but not with time, as they say, with attention. So I invite you to go and love intentionally and love extravagantly, and above all, love unconditionally. For the broken world waits in darkness for you and you and you and you and all of you to light their lives up. Go in peace, gentle people. Go in peace. And let us join in singing our linking song, Carry the Flame. If you are new, folks are going to want to hold your hand, and you don't have to. But you can, but you don't have to if it doesn't feel good.
Trying to figure out how to unmute us all. Or you can just unmute yourselves. Let's see if I can figure this out.